Connie Holder. I went into the service as a PFC. At that time, they had stripes for rank, and I went in as a PFC, and then when I got out, I was a staff sergeant. I had an uncle that was in the Korean War, and he used to tell me stories, and he would go running with me and different things, you know, when he would come home. And I just grew a love for the military. We actually moved to Jefferson County when I first moved to the St. Louis area. And I joined the Jefferson County Sheriff's Reserve at that time, and I started school then. Women were not considered to be part of the military. A lot of the men rejected women in the military, even though they were willing to do the job and sometimes could do the job better than the men. Basically, with the training I received from NCO school, which is non-com officer school, and then I went to OCS, and with the information I received from them, and I was in a lot of the classes where they were co-ed. So it helped me overcome them. And a lot of the guys, as I was in longer, they got to know me, I got to know them, and they treated me like a sister. The thing that I had the worst time adjusting to was the time frame. We were up at 4 o'clock every morning. Not a morning person, I will tell you. It was hard, but I guess after a while, you know, and not being able to call home for the first, I think it was the first 3 weeks, we couldn't call home. So if you were missing home, it was too bad. You just had to deal with it. And you're always in a formation. You're either in a formation classroom or you're out on the obstacle course or something. I mean, everything is laid out. So for a very long time, I was very particular about my scheduling and everything. I've kind of laxed on that quite a bit since I've gotten older. So everything is very structured. And your actions are always being watched, because how can you arrest somebody if you're doing it yourself? You know, when I first came back, I took like a month off and didn't do anything, you know, because I wanted to sleep in and I didn't want to, you know, and then I had to think, what am I going to do with my life? And that's when, you know, I decided to be a police officer. So I went through 2 years of the academy in Jeffco, and I also have a criminal justice degree. I was a deputy sheriff. I was one of the first females on the road. I joined in '77, and I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. That's where I did basic. And then a year later, because I came in as skills for stripes, I also was, my skills were for secretarial, but they already had a secretary, so I decided, I was acting as an MP at that point, so I decided that I was going to go to MP school. They sent me orders to go to the MP school in Fort McClellan, Alabama, and when I got there, they informed us that we were the first trial unit to be co-ed. And I was elected to be the platoon sergeant for the men's billets and the women's billets. It was very interesting because at that time, men didn't think they had to listen to women, so it was a trying time. But it worked out, and they initiated the plan to have co-eds. You know, I also learned that there's more than just black and white. There's a gray area too, and sometimes you have to open up that gray area. I would highly recommend it. In fact, there's a lot of generation now that need to go into the military, because I feel like now a lot of the children that are growing up don't respect their elders. They don't respect their country. There's just a lot of things that are going on that I firmly believe that it would be the best thing for a lot of them. I know that it was probably the best thing I could have ever done in life. It taught me a lot of self-respect. It taught me a lot of respect for my country, and it gives me great pride.